For all the state Jural Assemblies Part 41 Who Owns What? February 26, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. So who owns what and how does the power of the American government flow? All the ultimate power is vested in the living people. The people own and control the soil and operate the soil jurisdiction Republican states via organizations like the Texas Republic, Soil, and the Republic of Texas, Surface Water. This is the national jurisdiction that determines all the rest. These Republican states are all members of the United States, an unincorporated union of unincorporated Republican states. The subservience of the international land jurisdiction underlying the Republican states can be demonstrated easily enough. Think of the soil and surface water, the top 6 inches of everything you see, as a skin. You can't get to the land underlying the soil surface without passing through the soil, can you? So the land jurisdiction state underlying the soil layer is owned, operated, and possessed by the soil jurisdiction Republican states that belong to the living people. The international land jurisdiction state controls all the subsurface resources, the minerals and groundwater. This is the realm of the living people and lawful persons, soil and land, which includes all the fresh surface water and groundwater, too. This is also the realm of the state assemblies. Beyond this lies the watery and airy world of the purely fictional states of states, which all function as legal persons administered by more legal persons. Originally, the states of states belonged directly to the states. They were commercial corporations chartered, owned, and operated by the states, and members of the Confederation of States doing business as the United States of America. The original states of states were empowered to conduct all the business of the states in the international jurisdiction of the sea and in the global municipal jurisdiction of the air, and they did so until the adoption of the Constitution in 1787, when a power-sharing arrangement dictated by earlier treaties kicked in. Thereafter, the original states of states acquired contractual obligations as a group, and the United States of America became responsible for providing mutual services and exercising specific joint powers on behalf of the United States of America, our Federation of States, under the Constitution for the United States of America. All states of states are naturally subservient to the states, as can be demonstrated by the fact that no state of state can even be named without the presence of a pre-existing state. Just try to have a state of Florida without a Florida first. So these entities, too, all ultimately belong to the people of this country. Several other powers that were originally exercised by the states of states were ceded to the British monarch. These included control of the U.S. Navy and commercial fleet, and control of our trade policies, as well as physical control of our territorial possessions, such as Guam and American Samoa. This was done via the territorial constitution called the Constitution of the United States of America. This is the entity doing business as the United States of America as opposed to the Federation of States doing business as the United States of America. Finally, control of the Washington, D.C. municipality was delegated to the Holy Roman Empire through Westminster, with the understanding that the plenary oligarchy established there was to be exercised by the members of the Federal Congress, and the 10 miles square was to serve as a neutral meeting space to conduct our country's international trade and commercial business. This was finalized via the Constitution of the United States. This municipal international city-state is what does business as the United States, as opposed to our union of Republican states doing business as the United States. Through it all, the people retained the ownership interest and control. All powers flowed directly from the people to the unincorporated counties to the unincorporated states to the states of states that were chartered and operated by the states themselves, and were consolidated first in the Union of States called the United States, next in the Federation of States called the United States of America, and finally in the Confederation of States doing business as the States of America. Except for the stipulated power sharing with the British monarch, which obligated him to act as our trustee, and a very minor foothold, however strategically placed, for the Holy Roman Empire, the American people owned everything and controlled everything. It was and is a government of, for, and by the people, literally, and the international land jurisdiction states played and still play the linchpin and leading role. This is because the states are the fundamental connector between the realm of the people and the soil and the rest of the world. The states stand at the interface between the international land jurisdiction and the international sea jurisdiction. They are both the bulwark against encroachment by incorporated entities and the controller of all our worldly business interests. The actual states are the key to running the whole government properly, and the assemblies are the key to running the states. Now you can see why those who wish to undermine our government also seek to keep everyone confused and bent of creating more state-of-state organizations instead of assembling the actual states belonging to the Union. So long as we chase our tails and create states of states, we can be attacked and our efforts nullified, but if we stand on the solid ground of the land and soil and assemble our actual states, the jig is up. There is a vast difference between a state assembly and a state-of-state assembly. One is composed of lawful persons, American state citizens, and the other is composed of legal persons, United States citizens. The state assembly owns and controls the state of state, so the decisions of the state assembly, should they be contrary in vision or particulars, automatically overrule the actions and druthers of the state of state assembly. This is called checks and balances and was built into every level of the government we are heir to. This is a matter of the actual owners taking care of business and telling the hired help what to do. When the state assembly speaks, the state of state assembly has to obey. The hired help at the state of state level too often wish to usurp the role of the actual owners and tell us what to do, and also seek to benefit themselves surreptitiously from the unobstructed use of our public property and other assets. Those who wish to act as U.S. citizens and create new states of state are competing against the existing states of state, like any two commercial corporations competing for the same contract. This activity naturally draws the attention and adversity of the current contractor and leads to the arrest and abuse of those organizing such efforts. Those who act as American state citizens and who assemble the actual states are acting in a totally different and higher capacity that does not compete with any state-of-state organization, but which does hold the authority to tell the state of state what to do, both in general and in specifics. The actual state assembly composed of American state citizens has the authority to tell the state of state governor how high to jump, how to administer the state resources, what fees and charges the people will accept and what services they will receive or not, from the state of state. It is precisely this role of the state citizens and the state assembly that has stood empty for too long, leaving the people of this country without a voice and without control over the succession of mostly foreign commercial corporations that have edged in here since the Civil War and operated as states of states. You are being called to act as state assemblymen and assemblywomen, not state of state assembly members. This distinction is of ultimate importance in terms of both your experience and the benefit to your state and your country. Sure, we can all agree that the services of the states of state organizations need vast improvement. Sure, we can all agree that new service providers, or at least better informed and better directed service providers, are needed, but at the end of the day, that's quibbling among the hired help. It's not the voice of the actual employers coming forward, nor is it the sound of the employers putting their flat feet down, and that is what is needed. We cannot go on another 100 years letting the tail wag the dog or being endlessly confused about the difference between the actual state and the state of state organizations we employ to do work for us. Put simply, the actual state is populated by lawful persons who are American state citizens. The state of state commercial corporations that we either create or hire to provide us with services are populated by legal persons who are U.S. citizens of one kind or another. As you can see from the title of all these articles, you are being called to act in the capacity of lawful persons, as employers, and as American state citizens. We are not calling for local chapters of the current states of state commercial corporations to assemble, nor asking for input from our employees, the U.S. citizens among us. We are calling the actual states and people of this country to assemble. We are calling upon those who can and will expatriate from all territorial and municipal United States citizenship to come home to the land and soil jurisdiction and take care of business. Please hit subscribe, like, share, embed, and get ready for many more Anna von Reitz article videos.